I have a sleeping baby on me right now, but I got a lot of questions about my home birth TikTok. So I kind of just wanted to come on here and give like a couple pieces of advice that I would give to anyone who is considering a home birth, on the fence about it, maybe wants to do it in the future. The first piece of advice I would give is to watch the documentary, The Business of Being Born. Honestly, even if you're not planning a home birth and you're gonna do it in the hospital, The Business of Being Born basically takes you through like the cascade of interventions that happens in a hospital, which basically just means one intervention usually leads to them having to intervene another way, which leads to them having to intervene another way. And it's kind of just like a domino effect. Even, like I said, even if you're not planning to do a home birth, I would just advise you to, I just found out a lot of stuff that I probably could have been able to predict if I had known what those interventions could possibly lead to. Not that I had a traumatic birth or any life-altering circumstances with my daughter, but there were just some situations that I think I would have been more informed about if I had watched that documentary and educated myself a little bit. The second piece of advice I would give is to read Ina May's Guide to Childbirth. Ina May is like a very well-known midwife in the home birth niche. There's information that she thinks is relevant to home birth and that you should know beforehand. And then it just has a bunch of home birth testimonials from real women. That it's their real stories, their lived experiences, which for me, when I was planning and getting ready for my home birth, that was just so empowering for me to read a bunch of personal experiences and lived experiences of women who have given birth outside of a hospital setting or in their house, just to like read that other people have done it. And it's just really empowering. And then to piggyback off how hearing home birth testimonials is so empowering, there's a podcast called Happy Home Birth. And basically every episode is just another woman who comes on and like gives her testimonial about her home birth and what happened. And at the end of every episode, all of them say that they would do it again. And it was like the most empowering experience that they've ever had. And it just gets you so excited to hear other people's like testimonials. I don't know, it just like gives you so much confidence that you can do it. My other piece of advice would be to find a midwife that you really vibe with. And I mean, you trust with everything, because you're going to be in your most vulnerable state when you're giving birth, and you want someone there that you know is going to make the decisions that you would want to be made, that isn't going to intervene in any way that you wouldn't want them to intervene, that isn't going to like step over your boundaries. So that is a big piece for me. It's just find a midwife that you really vibe with and that you can trust. And my next piece of advice is to find a relaxation technique that you can use that will help you be as relaxed as possible throughout your whole experience. I've read hypnobirthing. I've read the Bradley method. The Bradley method was so helpful for me. I ended up having essentially like a pain-free birth because I was so relaxed, and I practiced those relaxation strategies and techniques like the whole 9 months that I was pregnant. So I had them down by the time I was ready to give birth. And to get your partner on board with those relaxation techniques in case like you are in a lot of pain and you can't think, that they'll know what to say and how to coach you into getting into that mode of relaxation. So those are my pieces of advice. I'm such a proponent of home birth, especially after I did it. And I've had both experiences, hospital birth and home birth, but I know that to each their own, everyone's different, so everyone's gonna have different experiences, but I love talking about it. So yeah, those are my pieces of advice.